PSG goes shopping, Hudson-Odoi changed his mind, Bruce gets Joel Linton, we've got the great debate and the transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off onto PSG, and when you associate them with a spending spree you often think about hundreds of millions of pounds, but not so much this summer. Along with bringing Pablo Sarabia in for 18 million, they've now set their sights on a few other players, including agreeing a deal with Everton for their midfielder Idrissa Gueye. For around £29 million they'll be able to bring him in, and it also looks like they've become front runners for Spurs left back Danny Rose. The fullback has been at Tottenham for 12 years but has been told he is surplus to requirements, and this summer has not travelled on their pre-season tour of the Far East. So at the moment he's looking to find a new club, and it looks like PSG could strike up a deal for around £20 million. Along with this as well, they've also announced the signing of Xavi Simons. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but he is the Barcelona youngster with the crazy hair, if you've ever seen one of those videos. At just 16 years old, he was tipped to be the next biggest thing, but it's clear that with the signings of Frenkie de Jong and the likes of Arthur in the squad, he won't be getting many chances in the first team within the next few years. But with Adrien Rabiot leaving, Verratti being the only real central midfielder at PSG, it looks like he may be getting more of a chance there, and so has signed a 3-year deal. It's been reported that he did turn down 100k a week to stay at Barcelona because he would be getting more money and more opportunities at PSG. Can you guess who his agent is? Of course, it's Mino Raiola. But next up to a major piece of transfer news in the long-running Callum Hudson-Odoi saga. Bayern Munich made however many bids back in January to try and sign him, and it looks like he was going to join until he didn't. Obviously because the transfer window shut. It was said that they looked to sign him again in the summer because he entered the last 12 months of his contract, but that hasn't happened because Callum Hudson-Odoi has signed a new 5-year deal at Chelsea worth 100k per week. He didn't actually get his first Premier League start until April under Maurizio Sarri, but with new boss Frank Lampard in the side and the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount also signing new deals, it looks like the future is going to be bright for Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi did mention that Lampard had spoke to him and said that he could be a huge player, and really gave him faith that the right place for him to stay was at Stamford Bridge. And next up to another massive signing, and it's Joel Linton who has completed his move to Newcastle United. Not really known for spending too much money, having only broken their transfer record of 14 years back in January, the striker has joined the club for £40 million and scored 11 goals in 35 Bundesliga appearances last season, and he'll be looking to spearhead the attack after Newcastle sold Ayoze, Perez, Salomon Rondon and Joselu. The one sticking point to this is that Rafa Benitez left because he didn't feel the squad was being invested in properly, and he was in desperate need of a massive striker. So what do? A few weeks after Benitez leaves, they give new coach Steve Bruce the striker that Benitez desperately wanted. It seems a little bit harsh to not back one of the best coaches in the world, and definitely back Steve Bruce, who, let's be honest, has made a half-decent career of coaching, but nothing really more than that. So just when there wasn't enough responsibility from 50-odd thousand fans screaming your name at St James's Park every week, Joel Linton has also taken on the famous number 9 shirt. He's spoken about how great Alan Shearer was and how he hopes to emulate him, but emulating the Premier League's top goal scorer ever with 260 goals is going to be a bit difficult even for the 22-year-old. And next up we come to round up of all the transfer news from around the rest of the world. And first up, Spurs striker Vincent Janssen has left to join Mexico side Monterrey. Donny van der Beek, the Ajax midfielder, hasn't ruled out him being the next star to leave the club. Zinedine Zidane has said nothing has changed in the Bale situation, despite him scoring in Real Madrid's penalty victory over Arsenal in the International Champions Cup. And lastly but not least, Bayern Munich president Uli Hoeneß will be leaving the club at the end of the year. Having been there for 40 years, he's overseen them to becoming one of the biggest clubs in Europe. And lastly but not least, we come to this week's great debate. This is when everyone in the Onefootball newsroom comes together and thinks of a question to pose to you guys. Of course, you can see their answers and my answer in the relevant article in the app. But for this video, in the comments section, we want to know, what is the greatest long-range strike ever? Of course, this is inspired by Harry Kane's wonderful goal against Juventus the other day, but what is your favourite? For me, despite loving the Harry Kane goal, it's got to be Dejan Stankovic. For those of you who haven't seen it, get on it. It is an unbelievable goal. He scored for Inter Milan when they were playing against Schalke in the Champions League. Manuel Neuer was the goal for Schalke. He came out of his box, headed it clear brilliantly, except on the halfway line was Dejan Stankovic with a full-on volley, which sailed over the massive German keeper, made him feel so small and nestled headed into the back of the net. All of this after just 25 seconds of the match. What a goal. But what is your favourite long-range strike ever? Will PSG make any of those signings, including Danny Rose, and how will Joelinton fare at Newcastle United? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below on that and all the rest of today's daily news, as well as smashing the like button and clicking here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.